Good morning, everyone. My name is Maurice Mitterrand. I'm the CEO and Chief Science Officer of the Ontario Science Centre, and it is my pleasure to offer you a warm welcome today.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to see all you students here. I'm just thrilled that A Beautiful Planet is going to play here at the Ontario Science Centre. We've had a long history of our films playing here. Hubble 3D, don't know if you saw that, or Under the Sea, but really made major contributions to it who are here this morning. You know, it takes a big team to do a film like this, and although Maurice kindly said the director, you know, I'm not the director, the astronauts are the directors. I'm sorry I don't have any astronauts with me today, but they're the ones that really do it. But we do have with us first our composer, Maribeth Solomon. She is 11.5 terabytes, you all know what a terabyte is, yes. 11.5 terabytes of data that the astronauts shot, over 250,000 frames. We flew 2 digital cameras. We weren't allowed to fly IMAX film anymore because there's no shuttle to get it back and forth. There's just not enough space to get bulky stuff up and down in a timely manner. So NASA told us we had to fly digital cameras, and we torture tested about half a dozen of them and chose a winner, or 2 winners, a video camera and a still camera, and those flew on the station for 15 months. And there were 3 different space station crews that shot the footage for us, and they did it all in their spare time. We're not allowed to encroach on their real schedules where they're doing station maintenance and very important scientific work. We're not allowed to take time out of that. So they did all this on weekends and nights and during their time off. They were just absolutely fantastic. As I mentioned, the data came direct downlink to us. We usually got it within 2 or 3 days. And you know now when you go to the movies, a Hollywood film, you expect to see lots of special effects, and CGI it's called. Well, I just wanted you to know that everything except 15 seconds, everything that you're going to see in this movie is real. It's not CGI. It's not special effects. You're going to fly through the Milky Way and out to a Goldilocks zone, and that's all done by a wizard team at the University of Illinois who take real star data. Every star you see has the right address and the right position in 3D space. So I just thought it's important for you to know it's not fake, it's real. We train the crews for about, we have a total of about 20 hours per crew, and we train them with everything they need to be film directors on orbit. So they learn how to operate the cameras, how to be directors, how to light a scene, how to record sound for a scene. We have a great trainer, James Nyhouse, who does all that training. I tell them about how to make a movie and, you know, don't shoot this scene at 5 seconds because we can't use it, that kind of thing. And we make up a shopping list of scenes, but we encourage the crews to contribute to that, and they do. And so the kind of thing I will tell them is, you know, if an alien comes up and plasters his face on the window, don't not shoot it because it's not on the list. You're the directors up there, so you do it. And lastly, I just wanted to say that I wanted to make this film, especially, we have a big audience, the IMAX audience around the world, people of all ages from 4 to 104, but I especially wanted to speak to students like yourselves, to young people, to try and inspire people as to what a beautiful planet we have inherited and why it's so important to take care of it, and also to look for solutions that if we work together, we can find solutions. As you know, 185 or 190 countries have just pledged in the Paris Accords to address issues of climate change. It's very important that we get the word out And I hope one of you will just go right out and solve the fusion problem and build a reactor. That's what we really need. And that was the idea of making the film. So I hope you enjoy it. It's my pleasure to show you a beautiful planet and talk to you afterwards. Thanks a lot. I'm not really allowed to say the exact figure just corporately, but it's well under $10 million. The average Hollywood film is around $100 or $200 or $300 million. So this was not a lot of money.
But the great thing that Hollywood films don't have is the access to the space station.
That's it. We don't pay for the NASA supplies as part of their partnership. They supply the space station and the astronauts. We supply the training and the cameras.
Do we have some questions over there? Yeah.
Where are the astronauts that we have seen this movie right now?
The astronauts that were in the movie right now are back in Houston. They are, I think, all of them waiting for another flight assignment, but there's a large queue of people that would like to spend time on the space station, so they're back to the end of the line again, but none of them have retired, so they'll probably fly again, but it'll be a couple of years.
Can I ask the question? This looks like a documentary. Will there be a feature film about astronauts in the future?
A feature film about astronauts in the future? Well, there have been dramatic Hollywood dramas about astronauts. I don't know if you have seen Interstellar. That's one of my favorites. Gravity was another. The science in that is, you know, a little questionable, but it certainly is Hollywood entertainment. But as a full-length documentary, I don't really know. We are restricted in terms of the length that we can make this film. I wish I could have made it an hour and a half. I had certainly enough wonderful material to do that, but the theaters that our films play in like to have a film that's under an hour. So.
Let's go to this side over there in the back. Yeah. Can you repeat the question? We can hardly hear. How many days? How long?
Yeah, the cameras were on board the ISS, the station, for 15 months. So that was, during that time, the 3 different crews that you saw came and went. They rotate. And Butch, who's the guy who speaks English, Russian, and Tennessee, has a very distinctive speaking voice. He was our pioneer. Butch broke in the cameras. They had never flown in space before. He tested them all out and kind of learned how to use them. We can't train for everything on the ground. So he was the pioneer, and then the middle crew, Terry and Samantha, took over, and each crew had a sort of a different methodology that they liked to apply, and we encouraged them to do whatever was comfortable. Butch loved to do, for instance, that wonderful sequence of California that we have. He perfected in one pass, in a single pass. He got the approach shot, then he'd quickly turn around and shoot out of the overhead window the nadir shots, which are looking straight down, and then he'd get the retreating shot from the other side. So he perfected that. Terry liked to do he loved to do the C500 interior shots. They all found their particular style of working. So it was 15 months total.
It sounds like you said that every one of them also was like a director and choosing their own area.
Absolutely. They took turns with, casting each other in shots and things like that. No, they had all the skills that you need to make a feature film.
We have a question from our science school students. Go ahead.
Why did you choose Jennifer Lawrence to be the narrator?
That's a very good question, which was why did we choose Jennifer Lawrence to be the narrator. I wanted to have a female voice for the project, for sure. And she was one of the people that was suggested to me, and I thought she's a wonderful actor, but mainly she is very passionate about the environment and a supporter. She came to see the film before it was finished. I showed it to her in New York, and she just loved it. And what I loved about her was her passion for the subject. And I thought anyone who's that wonderful an actor, but also on top of it has the passion for the subject, is going to really be good at communicating the subject matter to a broad audience. And I think she does a beautiful job. I also am blessed because she is probably the biggest movie star in the world, and I hope will help reach a very broad audience for us, because I think it's important, as I said, going in, to our job is to get the word out, and so the more people that come to see the film in terms of its message, the better.
Do we have time for just one last question over here?
How do you feel about private corporations sending materials and astronauts into space as opposed to government operations which are losing funding?
The question was what about private corporations sending people and materials into space as opposed to governments? I personally think, just like the history of aviation, that it probably needs to evolve more in that direction, because the costs of doing business in space, by that I mean actually getting there and doing the science, is so prohibitive that, and governments are under such strain now, that I don't think mounting missions to other planets is something that a single government can do. And I think the more corporations that get involved, the better. I mean, the NASA has long encouraged the COTS program, which led to Elon Musk developing the SpaceX craft and other companies like Orbital. And without those, they wouldn't even have a supply stream. Other than the Russian Progress ships, they wouldn't have a supply stream for the space station without that. So I think it's a good thing.
Well, I think exploration